Hello there, friends. So look what we're doing today. This is a cushion for some fancy motorcycle, like a trike motorcycle. Anyway, this is for a really tall rider. You can see how the thickness here is probably about 3 inches. Well, he wants to go a total of 8 inches thick on this. So that means that I'm going to be building a whole new cushion for him. I'm not going to touch this here, so that means that we have no patterns to go by. So we're going to be fabricating something from nothing. So here we go. So at first glance, you might have thought, well, what the heck is wrong with this one? Well, there's nothing wrong with this one other than that it's too short for him. So he was telling me that he loved this double diamond stitch right here. So that's what he wants. He wants a double diamond stitch, red top thread on this insert to go on top of this here. And he does have other cushions on his bike that are going to also be needing to be done. But we're just going to focus on this one here for the sake of this video. So we're going to go from that to here. This is going to be a little bit of an adventure, you know. Just because it's a small piece here doesn't make it cheap. People think, oh, it can't cost that much because it's such a small item. But you know, there's just as much work on this as if this was 5 times bigger. It's just that, you know, matter of fact, it's harder to work on smaller items like this to get it underneath the sewing machine. So don't discount yourself. Don't charge a cheap price just because it's a small item, because you're going to hate yourself for that. So what I did is I pre-cut some foam here that I had laying around. Not going to do anything else with it. Probably would have went in the trash when I'm cleaning up to make my move to the Philippines. Anyway, that is my 8 inches right there. 8 inches. That's how thick it's going to be. But you know what? That's what he wants, right? So we always give the customer what they want. So this is the original one right here. And you can see how thick that thing's going to be. So we got to make that happen, right? So this cushion has a taper. It's got like an angle all the way around the back here and the sides. So I got to keep that taper, but make it 8 inches tall. So I think what I am going to do is we'll probably just draw that out the top here, but even make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to trace that out. Like that. I'm just going to kind of follow the taper here. Oh, there goes my phone. See who that is. If you find value in my upholstery tutorials, now is an easier way to contribute to my YouTube channel. Buy a coffee by scanning this QR code now. Thank you. This is going to be the bottom one. This is the one here that really matters. Okay. So I'm going to draw out the bottom. So that's the bottom and that's the top. So this is going to take some artistry for me to put in this angle here. Let's see if I can get through to the other side. I'm just kind of guessing here. You know, that's the thing about when you're fabricating, sometimes you have to guess. Okay, I got through to the other side. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to cut on this line and this line at the same time. So I'm going to look at that line, flip it around, look at this line. Okay, this one's going to be interesting because we got a curve. And I got to think in 3D here. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Check the other side. All right, now we're getting somewhere. I'm not sure that this is something I can actually teach. This is more of an intuition kind of thing. Okay, I'll just keep on going. Let's see how I'm doing here. Okay. Some of you that are new to my channel might be saying, what the heck is he doing? Isn't that a hacksaw blade? And I'd always say, yeah, it is. I've had people in comments even recently say that if I have a handle, I could buy a handle for the hacksaw blade. That way I don't hurt my hand. But I tell them that I'm not hurting my hand because you can't hurt your hand on a hacksaw blade. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Wow, that one went a little wonky. Let's try this again. Do it from this side. I'll just continue this all the way around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pilot line here that'll help guide me. Okay, I got my pilot line on both sides. Let's see if I could just continue. That one's already through. Yep. So that pilot line that I did is helping to guide this end of the blade. Just check it and recheck. Make sure we're going good. So good. So far, so good. Okay. There we go. It's a little hard to see on camera, but just want to check and see if the angles are there, which they seem to be. Not bad. Okay, we'll just continue building this thing. Now we'll take our contact adhesive and glue these pieces together. Okay, because these are soft to soft, we're not going to let it dry. We're just going to stick them together right away. Because it's foam to foam, or if it was fabric to foam. Okay, so we're just going to cut at that same angle. So when you get around the corners, you have to start going more vertical instead of horizontal. I wish I was left-handed here. Okay. It's coming out pretty good, I guess. One more. This is really going to be a high chair, isn't it? One more layer. Wow. Oops, see what happens when you stick it together? Okay, here we go. Make sure it's centered. Okay. Man, this is going to be like sitting on a comfy couch. Now that I see how big it is, I can't believe it. Okay, let's go ahead and continue this. So some of you might be concerned because this looks a little rough. But all this roughness is going to get covered up by upholstery material. So some of you guys might say, yeah, but you should be using a wire wheel or something like that on the foam to make it smoother. Well, yeah, I guess if you want to spend more time on it, you could do that. But it's all just going to get covered up in upholstery material anyway. Okay. Okay. So it is an art, like sculpture. That's why I like the hacksaw blade, because I'm not sure you can do that with a bread knife cutter. And you can't use a hot wire, because the hot wire you can't use on this kind of foam. You'll kill yourself with the fumes. Okay, guess it's all stuck together pretty good. Shape looks pretty good. So what I'm looking at is like the basic shape. I'm not looking at the tiny little, the little things. Like this one here is sticking out a little bit. I'll just trim that off a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out a blank here. Leave plenty of extra. That's going to be our piece right there. So I'm going to pull out my template that I made a long time ago. So you might have seen this in one of my older videos about how to make double diamond seed inserts. So what I have is I have these little marks here cut out. All I have to do is just draw my lines right inside them. Just like that. Now that's my template. Almost. Okay. There we go. Now I just have to draw my lines. Start in the middle first. Now really, each of these pleats here is going to be 2.5 inches. So that one's right. Let's see. This one here is 2.5. Okay, so that looks good. I'm just confirming 2.5. 2.5. Okay. So let me see if I have a wider yardstick here. So that way I know that I'm pretty close. So you guys might have your own way of doing this, but I'm just showing you my way. I always get somebody in comments saying, well, you're doing it wrong. But I always say, well, there is no right way and there's no wrong way. It's just a different way of getting the same thing done. So just try to stay consistent here. I know there's no lines there, but I was paying attention so I know where it belongs. And I guess that's it. Look at that. We got our diamonds. So what I'm using for inserts is a thicker 1/2 inch scrim. They gave me the gray version this time. Usually I'm using the black side. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to glue this together. So I'm just going to lay this up here for now. Kind of get an idea where it goes. Fold it in half. So this is the 1/2 and 1/2 method of gluing. So this is technique number 87. So what we do is I do half here, fold it over, and then do the other half. Soft to soft, so you don't have to let it dry. Do half and then do the other half. Okay, now we're just going to cut this out. So we're going with a heavy red top thread here. So I'm going to do a speed change on this one here. Let's do our speed change, changing out the thread. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take it, wrap it around the black thread like that, tie it once, then grab all of it like this, black and red included, flip that around, tie your second knot. So it's a little hard to do because it's thicker thread. Grab it, there we go. Okay, then, oh, I missed. Do it again. Okay, there we go. So now I tied the knot down here. Now what we do is we just take the thread here out of the bottom, pull on it. There we go. Like that. Now just pull the thread through the needle. Just like that. That's ready to go. So I do have a video about sewing top thread, and this is my lifetime supply of needles that I have here. But you can see here the size 135 by 17. This is the only size I use on my sewing machine. And as you can see, I've only used like 4 of them, and I've had this pack for like 3 years, two or 3 years, I guess. I only used 4. I got like hundreds still left to go. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I never change out my thread. Even if I'm using the thin thread or the thicker top thread, I always use the same needle. So before you start doing a lot of sewing, it's always a good idea to check your bobbin and make sure you have enough so that way you don't run out. You know, I'm going to do so much. I still have quite a bit left on this bobbin here, but I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to put it in a brand new one because I have a lot of sewing here to do. And I don't want to run out of bobbin halfway through a stitch. That would be tragic. So we're going to avoid all that tragicism. tragicism. Okay. Now, we're getting ready to start stitching. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, well, what about the top thread tension adjustments up here? Well, I got to say the same thing. I never touch them. Whether from using the thin thread or the thick thread. So I'm going to start off with our single diamond first. As you can see, this is going to take quite a while to do. So important that you sew straight. Like I always tell my customers, they ask why do I charge so much for the double diamond, much more than a single diamond? Well, first of all, it's double the work. Second of all, when you're doing stitches that are that close together, if you're off 1 millimeter one way or the other, it will show. And they're going to know that you're the one that did it. And they might even tell their friends that you're the one that did it. So don't do that. Make sure it's always going to be nice and straight. No exceptions. One more this direction. Okay. Now we're going to change directions. Go this way. So you can see why I'm using the 1/2" scrim. You see the definition now? You see the definition now on the diamonds? You got a definite shape there now. One more on this side. Guess it'd be easier to go this way. Okay. So now you could just stop here, right? You got yourself your single diamond. But we're going to go one step further and make it much more special. We are going to be doing a double diamond. So this is the real tightrope walk right here. This is where you got to get it right. So some people have asked me, well, why don't you just use a double needle machine? Well, first of all, because I've never used one in 45 years, 46 years now. I always say 45, but now it's 46. Never used a double needle sewing machine. This is the way I've always done it, old school. That's why we're old school upholstery. I think if you did have a double needle machine, that would be lazy, wouldn't it? This is much more challenging, much more rewarding. It's not just an action or emotion. It's really you being in control of where that needle lands. I'm just going to continue here. I don't know about you, but this makes my eyes go crazy. You know, let's do our last pass. So this last pass is the most difficult one because this material is not flat anymore. Now that all this material here is all three-dimensional. So as I'm sewing it, the line that I'm watching here is kind of going like this now. It's not straight anymore. So I'm just going to continue. And that finishes that. So the next thing I need to do is find the center on this cushion. So that's about 18. So oh, 9. Put about 18 right there. Go 9. That should be our center. Right there. Yep. Looks like about it. Just double check. 9. Yeah, okay. So that's our center there. I'm gonna mark it here. Now, we will take our panel here. I think I'm going to make this one here the front because I see the X's are here near the front. So let's go ahead and lay that up there. Find our center. Oh, I guess we got to find our center here, huh? Okay, so looks like right here is the center. I can make that the center right here. So just line that up. Do the same on the back. Make sure it's the same one right here. So we can line that up. Line that up. Now we can mark it. So I know some of you guys are out there screaming, where's the sewing allowance? Trust me, it all works out. Sewing allowances is not rocket science. Okay. So the next thing that's really important is you want to make sure that this left side right here, that it matches the right side. So you see, like I'll use this diamond here as an example. See how this line is just on, it's pretty close to the end of that diamond right there. Just got to make sure that this one looks exactly the opposite. So check each one, make sure that one looks like that one looks like that one looks like that one, this one looks like that one, and so on. Make sure they're all the same. This one here can come out just a little bit more. Okay, that this one looks like that one. This one looks like that one. This one looks like that one. And this one looks like that one. Now you know that when you cut it out, it's going to be the way it's supposed to be. Because I've seen guys not do that. And when everything's finished, nothing lines up. Nothing matches the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and just sew this out now. We'll sew right on top of that white line. Okay, let's go ahead and cut that out. So what we're doing here is we're cutting right next to that thread that we just sewed without actually cutting it. Don't want to cut into that black thread there. There we go. Now we'll just verify the fit. Find our centers right there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we're going to make the side skirt. That's going to be really interesting because of this weird angle curve here. It's not going to be straight at all. So I'm going to make the front panel right here first. A couple of different ways we can do this is you can actually put the material right over the top like that. Let me scoot her over here a little bit. A lot of friction here with this foam. Okay. Starts to come over this way just a little bit. Okay. Try that. Okay, so we can hold it. Gotta come this way a little bit. Okay, that should do it. We can actually just hold it like that and mark it out. I'm just drawing right on that edge. I'm not even looking at it because I can't see it. Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it would be to take this, put it in the center like that, and draw it, right? Pull this up, draw it. Same thing, or you can just lay it on its side like that and draw it, right? Do the same with the top. And roll this over, draw that, roll this over, and draw that. See, it pretty much came out the same either way. Like I always say, there's more than one way of getting things done. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. So I'm going to be putting some scrim on this here. So I'm going to leave this long. Cut on the outside of my white lines, not on the white lines. So that's our front panel. So we always verify, right? Make sure that that's going to be the one. It's looking pretty good, yep. Okay, we'll continue. Now we're going to do the back side here. Pretty much the same thing, but this one here is going to get a zipper. So I'm just going to mark where this one ends. Right there. Now we'll do the same for the other side. This one has a stronger angle to it. So I'm going to see if I can roll this out. Oh yeah, that should be enough. Okay. So let's do the same thing. Roll it. Okay, so I'm going to want to put the zipper, I guess, right down the middle. So if I made it the middle on this one here, and I'm going to add another inch anyway for the zipper. Okay, let's just do that. We'll call it 9, and half of that is 4.5. 9. So we'll keep this on the 9, 4.5, 0. 9, 4.5, 0. 9, 4.5, 0. 9, 4.5, 0. Okay. So this is going to be our new line right here. You're going to see in a little while why that is. Because we got to put a zipper in and we need an extra 1/2 inch on each side. Actually, it doesn't even hurt to go even more if you want, because we can always trim it down. Right now, the one that's most important is this one I'm cutting right here down the middle. So that's the one that gets the zipper. So these are 2 halves right here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and verify this one. So my half mark is right there. Lay it up. Make sure it looks good. Which it does. We're good there. And I'm just going to mark a little bit long here. You know where I marked where that other one ended? I'll leave this one here long by about 1 inch. Right here. Okay. Now this one, which would be the bottom one. See, find the center real quick. Make sure that looks good. We'll mark that one. Do a lot of marking here, aren't I? Okay. We're going to get ready to make our zipper. So I thought I probably should just go ahead and just scrim these up right away. Do that before I do the zipper. So anyway, they gave me the gray one again instead of the black. So let's go ahead and get this going. There's a bunch of foam pieces on the back of here that got stuck. So I'm cutting foam. You don't want it to be lumpy. Okay, let's go ahead and get this here sewn up. Oh, ran out of bobbin. That's what happens. I'm using the wrong scissors for this. That's for my thread. That's better. Okay, I'm going to start my zipper pull on my zipper. Just like that. I guess that might work. Let's try that. No zipper foot needed. I gotta get around that zipper pull. Pull it out of the way. There we go. That's half. See if I can do the same thing on the other side. Guess I should mark center here, so I know where the center is. Do the same on this side. Okay. Oh, that's the zipper foot side where I had it right the first time. Okay. So I'm gonna hand measure. Like that. Okay, now I know where to start. See, the zipper pulls in the way again. Okay. Okay, now I can make this the correct pattern right here. Lay that up here, mark this, where I'm going to sew it right there. Do the same on the other side. Just like that. Now the bottom, it's way up here. So I just fill the edge right there, that ridge. You can see where the fold is. Right there, right where the fold is. Okay, that should be it. Okay, let's go ahead and sew that up. So you haven't heard me say much about sewing allowances, right? I haven't talked about how a sewing allowance has to be so accurate to the 16th of an inch. Not even a mention. Okay, let's go verify. Yep, looking pretty good. See that? So now my mark, it's about right there, leave it a little long. So I'm still going to leave this a little long right here. You know, I always like to keep something just a little bit long, because you can always get rid of the long later. It just makes it easier to work with. That way you don't have as much stuff in your way. Because now it's time to put some pieces together. So I got my center marked right here. We'll match up the center marks. This is going to get a top stitch, so I want to make sure that there's plenty of sewing allowance. Aha, you caught me. I knew it was going to come up at some point. So I'm only going to sew up to about right there. So later on, we're going to join these other halves. Okay, now let's get this one sewn up. Okay, got those done. It's always good to verify. Make sure everything looks okay. So now we're going to be joining these things here together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark it where they meet like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up sewing right here, about a 1/2 inch or so from my mark. I'm doing a reverse sew from the back side of the scrim this time instead of the top side. You almost never see me do the same thing twice. I always do it everything a different way, so that way you can see that there is not only one way of getting things done. Okay, so now this one here is ready to join. Put these two together. So I'm going to get rid of some of this foam here so that way I can see what I'm doing. Okay. This thing is getting harder and harder to handle as it's taking shape. There's that one. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Okay, we'll put these two together. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I think now we can join these together. Do the same to this one. Okay. And that's all closed up. Now we get to inspect. Now it's starting to look like something. Okay. So what I'm looking for right now is consistency on my edges right here. Make sure that they look the same. Small diamond, cut off end, cut off end. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, that's that. Before I do the top stitch, I think I'm going to throw it up on that cushion and see how it fits. See what I was talking about earlier? Because I foamed the sides, that's why the finish on the sides of the foam here doesn't really matter. So it's going to get covered up anyway. But if you wanted to spend a couple hours making it smoother, you can do that if you want. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. I don't know if I can do this. I thought I could just stuff it in there. It doesn't look like it. Okay, let's try my other method. Okay, let's turn this back inside out again. Okay, put my hand down like that, roll it over. See if I can get it done that way. It's such an odd shape. Just gotta be persistent. Don't let it beat you up, right? Okay. Okay, it's not exactly where it needs to be because I'm not going to spend that kind of time finessing it. I'm just checking the basic fit. There's no extra material anywhere. Everything looks nice and tight, nice and smooth. So I think I can probably go ahead and proceed with a top stitch on this edge here. Then I'll close up the bottom. Okay, it's looking better all the time. So now we're going to do our top stitch. I'm going to turn this inside out. This one might be hard to see because the way it's shaped. There's a lot of material covering my field of view and probably yours too. Let's see how we do anyway. I think I'm going to need my glasses for this one. This is why I say the harder items are sometimes harder to work on than the larger pieces. Like headrests and armrests, they also fit in that category. Sun visors. Okay. Well, my hands are going to feel this tomorrow. This is these corners. The last hole is right there. So now what I'll do is I'll hand tie. If you notice, I didn't lock that stitch on the top because I knew I was going to hand tie it on the back. So we don't want to see a lock stitch on top. Although I have seen lock stitches on top. You go to car shows and you see upholstery jobs where guys, they just put the lock stitch right on the top. They don't even care. But we do, right? Okay. There's that. Now I have to make a bottom for this. So just draw that out. Just like that. So this is what I do if I want to be sure that it's same on both sides, is I will just cut out half. Now what I'll do is I'll fold it in half. This way I'm guaranteed that it's going to be the same on both sides. That's technique number 928. Look at that. Now I know that they're going to be exactly the same. Might as well go ahead and mark this one center. Okay, that's our bottom. So the new one gets the same hook, Velcro like that. So I'll just go ahead and lay this up here. Find out where the old one was. That way we can duplicate it. Okay, now I know. I guess it has to go this long. That's where it ends. Okay. I'm going to sew on the Velcro. start here with our center marks. So on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack it on the front and the rear. Because what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that these are going to meet in the right place. Let's see. I guess that one will. Check the other side. So it looks like there's a little bit too much material on the bottom side here. So I'll just compensate for that as I sew it together. That's why we always check. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting into that corner a little bit to take up some of that extra material. I'm just checking and rechecking. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Keep checking. Make sure we're going to land in the right place. There's our end right there, so there we go. We'll just continue on the other side. Getting closer. There's the end right there. Okay, that should have did it. Whew, I was holding my breath that entire time. Okay, trying to get this foam cushion into its new home. Huff, huff, grunt, grunt. Okay. Just popped right on there. Like it belongs there, huh? I think I could still move stuff around if I have to. Wow. Just like it's made for it or something, huh? Probably put some heat over this. I think I'm going to take my mineral spirits and clean off that white china marker. So I barely had to put any heat on it at all. So there's the before and there's the after. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So be sure to join me next Sunday morning for something completely different. So until next time, we'll see ya. If you like this video, you'll really like the next one.